Come on. Into the black light, exited the mass.
What's up, Lou?
You into the black light, exited the mass.
Shells.
You into the black light, exited the mass. You into the black light, exited the mass.
Yo, we back again. If you throw it in the towel, then you back in sin. We need the Holy Spirit, please let the chaplain in. Here at the front door, chilling with a childish grin. We can now begin. Now the truth be told, we're riding on the light to let the youth get old. And following the one that will soothe your soul and take your bad situation and improve your role to release your flow. It's a long stretch to loosen all the nooses from the baby's necks. And tell the young ladies they should save the sex. And tell the young guys not to break their neck for the place of sex, but get the paycheck. And real women really don't play that. A wise lesson learned really, really way back. I used to okay that. The Lord saved me, Jack, from a life of whack. Come on.
Into the black light, exited the mass.
Oh,
You into the black light, exited the mass. You into
yeah.
the black
You might want to start paying attention on this next verse.
You into the black light,
Just
exited
give me your
the
attention
mass.
for a minute. Damn. Come on. We from the same cut, but playing different positions. A top secret message got the president's attention. Do what you do, just make the good folk listen. And trust me, yo, it's not about who you kissing. There is a plan to see you chewed up and shit out. The devil's burning red from the fire that we spit out. We on the get up, the hell with that down low. Cherish the gift of the wisdom that we found, yo. Still on the mission with the daily agenda. Your head's been cloudy, so I doubt you to remember that I walk with the king of kings inside me. Just like the root in India, Irie. I volunteer, know the Lord didn't hire me. It is the spirit that inspired me. Water of life to show the chief where the fiery. We have no time for those that be acting grimy.
Yeah, I get it.
You see the light now? Boy, I've been talking to y'all for a while. You see, you thought this was for like some type of game. Man, revolution. Yeah. When you're free, your mind, your ass will follow. That's for real. And some of y'all locked up so bad, don't nobody have to put chains on you. Hell, you chain yourself down mentally, spiritually. Come on, free your mind, dude. You a king. Free your mind, chick, you a queen. Let me get something with some feel to it, some funk to it. Come on. I think I like that. Can we get some heavy drums in there? More like Caribbean, Caribbean. Yeah. Yes, bounce to this. I'm just a black man, title, yo, you give me that. I like them imports, never push the Cadillac. And what you figure, Mr. Man, while you're kicking back with sick plans to get you stacked, making chickens fat. You know you into that, chilling with your timber cat. Intoxicated to the point, past sinful acts. Be very nimble, Jack, or Jill will get a water back. And have your heart broke just like a heart attack. Look where your power at, no, not them idle cats. It's deeper than taps and hurricanes and old maps. The spirit flows, so my folks throw daps. Meant for the wise as well as the spoiled brats. So you can fold up or either you can fold back. I hold no judgment over those that have chose crack. Terror over habit that has been proven to hold back. With God on your side, you can get your soul back. Yeah, we need some 3 parts on this, man. What's up? I can't carry this boys at chorus. Come on, line up. Yo, I need y'all 3-part harmony on this. I don't know how you can work it out, but work it out. Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What is it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night how deep this music is. What is it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? feel a certain doom. You might lose your hearing from the sonic boom. Out of the mouth is a sword and I'm taking you out. You try to stop me and I'm faking you out. Man, I wish I had an apprentice to build this work. Collaborate on synthesis. And I hope you remember this. Keep your enemy near to you. Far away, keep those that are dear to you. I hate beer, but I used to drink the brew heavily until the little habit turned deadly. I used to have a bud every day and all week, intoxicated to the point where I couldn't hardly speak. So do the knowledge, that means hold your head, let the past stay dead, and keep a level head, and don't be misled. Remember most of what I said, I'm hot like dimes in a rock, but you got us hot for working on your block.
By the end of the night, I'll take this music, yes. What does it profit the man to gain the world and lose your soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night, I'll take this music, yes. What does it profit the man to gain the world and lose your soul?
Mike's handed, I'm speaking candid. Understand this is the way that the masses demand it. I have wisdom, but God planned it. General media banned it. I blow flows on beaches and make you wonder where the sand went. The Taliban spent more time in design to destroy cities. My rhymes inspire minds. I'm known as Big Papa, but I ain't your daddy yet. But I could be your bro if you could get the concept. There be many that stand whenever I rip, but it's devastation whenever I rip. I spit flows that hit like mouth on tits, straight legit. You fake rappers need to understand that felonies, gunfights and drugs don't make a true MC. And I will do more than talk this talk. I will defiantly walk this walk. There's no need to spaz. Your nose bleeding while I'm beating your ass. You in the cesspool.
Hope you can see by the end of the night, I'll take this music, yes. What does it profit the man to gain the world and lose his soul? Hope you can see by the end of the night, I'll take this music, yes. What does it profit?
Ancient Chinese secret now. Yes. Did you not pay attention in your history class, partner? Wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up, son. It is written that there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. And that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So take your position. Don't you know you are part of that scripture, yo? Yo, you've been getting in the way and which will knock you down. Yes, but we gon' bring the light, yeah. A Max P production, baby. You know what it is. Listen, I'm known to tell you to fight back. There's no need to sell crack just to live fat. Why don't black superstars simply give back when they know it's a struggle just to live black? Can you picture that, Mr. Aristocrat? I'm coming from the bottom, rising to the top, and conscious is the tone on the CDs I drop. I won't flip-flop like a black bass, but I will put a message in the song before I hook your ass. See, we first class living, worse than slaves of the earlier days, and we adapted the ways of the slave master. I stand upon it, the fairy rock which put your people in bondage just to get 100. The big face kind, and it don't matter if it's making people lose their freaking mind. That's why I'm speaking mine. Hopefully they change yours to pull you out of these streets from these drugs and strange whores. Huh. Is anybody there? Is there love out there? Is anybody there? Is there love out there? It's like we died inside, no longer having pride. We're still for rides, a new skill to hide. And like the red tide, go and get our heads dyed. Rebel against the laws in the cities we reside. Sleep the circumstance, though our eyes open wide. Fail to coexist, let alone coincide. Eat chicken many ways, but prefer it fried. Like your man on death row when his relatives cried. Is death a mistake because somebody lied? And we can only pray that Christ is by his side. Convicted on the statement implied with no proof. Now will the warden cry that he killed another youth? I truly doubt it, that's why we stay in the booth. Just cause it ain't enough, we should demand and show proof. And if they overlook our voices, then we raise the roof. Which one of y'all dudes? Is anybody there? Is there love out there? Is anybody there? Is there love out there? Being that I feel like I'm a slave, maybe slave. Yo, man, you made a serious mistake, slave. With how you handle me, homie. Slave to the system. Yeah, sound like a winner right there. Come on. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. Hold up a minute, fam, let me ask you this. Did your last promotion offer you an ass to kiss? Hashtag for this. I know a better way, and many honestly wonder why you bastard shit. Your heart's got to be right to make it from here. For animosity and hate, you can place it here. No time for pity. We partying all the way. No time to be the victim. We got a call to take. Keep you square and watch God fall the fake. A linebacker reads well before they call the play. Hoping you always say. Hoping we always pray. Invest a little bit of time in a taller day. Forget the ball and play. We got stakes in Israel with much more beef than the Shaw can say. Now that's the scholar's way. No lust for the cause of throwbacks. In fact, give them all away. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. Inside my circles are deep bows and little Urkels, and need no brown types with no remorse if they hurt you. Many out to take you, plotting schemes for your paycheck. And no, I'm not a snitch just because I come and say that. Look, dude, I don't play that. When my boy G-Lo was killed, you know you saw me on the news. If you choose to look way back, so stay back. I'm militant like Osama, intelligent like Obama, and you can ask your mama. No need to wonder. I'm like the 10th one under the commission of the author of life. When I was younger, I would do what a thug would tend to do. And if you got the last lick, quickly remember you. Our lives change, but still things remain the same. Slave masters got these brothers' brains and chains. Yo, I'm feeling your pain. Down and out in life, saying your prayers, but not seeing the change. We in the sin age. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free.
You had me out there early this morning, boy. I only got like 4 hours of sleep, and that's not good. It's not good, man. So I need to get me a good nap right here. This is ganja bed, I call it. All right. Sleep. That's catchy, bro. That should be on the radio. I'm about to see if I can heckle my boys back in New York. Be like, yo, check this, my brother Max V. I'm gonna hit him. Because people tired of this garbage rap. I already gave it to you, man. You're not getting it right now, bro.
Yo kid, you can take my advice and dismiss the current hit list. These cats are getting fat from facades and illusions, causing grief and confusion. God knows the rap game need a new son. Here I am, dear Lord, you can use me. Please don't let the industry abuse me and let the anointing choose me.
You know what this is, nigga?
Walking to sleep, but rise this groovy. I'm taking strong stands and they can't move me. I'm armed with the verbal Uzi. I'm on my good foot and watch
watching my step, quiet as kept. If you gamble, place your bets, but God is with me. And there's no way to win playing the odds against me. Most of these cats have money, but their soul is empty. And they guilty as the one who stole Creek and Kenty. 1 million men gather won't change a thing. If we only choose to hate a slang or gang bang, we will never see a change. Yes. Yo, I know you are. Be real with me. Hold on for the second verse. Can you hear me now? Look, it should be crystal clear. Can you hear me now? It's like I'm right in your ear. Can you hear me now? I have a real important.
If I knew you like that, I'd have been giving it to you. I just had to look it up. I didn't even know. Oh, you getting down. You just put your paws on the both sides of it. Oh, you went away and came back. You really like that, huh? Oh, you moving around. You getting the perfect position. Roger that. Roger, I didn't know. All right. Replenishes, heals the liver. Ooh, look at that. I didn't know I did all that for you. It does that for us. Increases blood wealth, fights infections, heals wounds, building the immune system. Obvious, it does a lot more. We're going to talk about that.
This time around, we'll be keeping it tight. No longer seeing each other in a negative light. And if the president's right, I would support the cause, but he's not. If he's obviously breaking God's laws, ain't no man perfect. We all have flaws, but there's a few words of wisdom for all of y'all.
Gotcha. Baby girl slaughter, original lone wolf. Hey, original lone wolf, how you like that filter, brother? Snoo, what's up? What's up, mi amore? Humble French, what's going on, beloved? Couple more minutes.
It's much more than black music.
I don't think so.
What the goal of the billionaire class is to remake the world as a digital simulation, really, to digitally virtualize, to steal life. As an anti-life program is moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life to a digital twin of the world that they can control and is disconnected from spirit and.
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Plus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We got Brickz plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no pops. Spoiler, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed out children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system, irrigation, and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was really represent with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beach cups, realize tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is a war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem, bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Yo, Grand Ascension, what's going on, beloveds? What's happening? I hope that yesterday it was some decent information. I had to thank the brother again for sharing that, because I was surprised that even anybody was even speaking on that level. Somebody shared something else to me. They shared that Terrence Howard talking about how the chromosome is made up, potassium, chloride, and hydrogens 4, and the helix, and how it moves, and the mitigation, and what they're actually doing, and how they're attempting to censor it using arrogant ignorance, I would say, to put it politely. But I really hope y'all got something from it. I was sitting here and I was looking at going over a couple of channels, because I really study YouTube, and I go into its pocket based on what's good content, because this is content regardless of what. Let's get away from the illusion what I'm doing. I seek balance, but I have many videos of me cooking. Could I do that? Probably have all kind of people, because I'm a chef. Probably have all kind of people sending me all kind of cutlery and try this out. I threw away all the black top cooking utensils. I knew it at the time, but it was cheap when I got it, and I was attempting to do something else, and I thought I got the best of it. And there's no one plastic that's actually good cutlery or cooking ware. None of it should be used, none whatsoever. And some of you can go back and remember in the late 70s when our parents, or my grandmother, always used steel. But some of you know, the relatives, aunts and stuff, cooking flapjacks and eggs, this and another, they were using white plastic spatulas. And the same thing with the cakes that was actually, we made our own icing, which was made out of lard and confectionery or cane sugar. That's how we made our icing for our cakes. That was heated up to where it almost became like a molasses syrupy. And sometimes my grandmother, great grandmother would add a tablespoon of molasses and bring it to this. It had a bitter but sweet taste. It wasn't like what you get at the store now, which is mostly chemicals. I know you see it, Matthew. Psalms 4:4, right? Is it Psalms 4:4? I've got so many different ones that I wanted to talk about, and I think I threw that one up just to make sure. I don't want to be sitting here making something up. For ye are gods, right? And it doesn't matter about no King James and all that. We don't need to have that. It's unnecessary. Psalms 82:6, I believe, or something like that. I think I was looking at another one, Mathew 4:4, something like that. Anyway, Psalms 86, something like that, whatever it is, right? I've been expressing this because everything they've done, and I'm not going to start talking about the fake this, that, and other. Either you know or you don't know. It doesn't matter to me no more about that. We're supposed to be beyond that. You're gods. What was bothersome, but is very disturbing, is people still see this term God as something bigger. How can you label something that won't allow you to know its name? See, this is where we get into the catch-22, where most people don't think. And that's why I played ToLU'S last song, War with the Beast, because you heard the last narrative that the lady was speaking. When you're talking about golems and everybody becoming robotic, and you see Elon Musk playing the devil's advocate, wearing Baphomet to keep people confused, distractions, and everything else. He's just as worthless as the rest of them. But what you need to know is that they are putting some truth out there. That's why it was important for me to share that yesterday. And I've been saying this for decades. And some people actually know this. And they go, you used to say this a long time ago, man. We had certain people like Troy Deutsch and punks like that, and other individuals, especially in the Masonic community. And I'm not surprised that some of the people will become Masons because they were in prisons, which get all religious and everything, contextually believing that's supposed to save you. But then you have those who, because they got in that circle, because they're deviants, regardless of what you think. And I'm talking about people I grew up with. Just because you grow up with people don't make them, because you are seeking a paradigm of righteous living. I don't have to seek righteous living. There's an order to things. You see what unfolds, and you see the veil further being lifted, and it's not lifted for everybody. And some people, it is, and they ignore it. They choose to. Like me, I don't like porn, but I like, right? And I love beautiful women. Yet I manage myself by not articulating that crap, because it does rob you, especially when you're in a very weak place. It robs you of many senses. What you saw me just do was take 8 ounces of water, just regular water, not out the tap, but regular bottled water. It wasn't purified. And I added 15 drops of chlorophyll. Why chlorophyll, right? When we talk about the double helix, this, that, and the other, we're getting the XX and XY chromosomes and this, that, and all these other things that they've laid a narrative for, that they use for science. Obviously, right now used against you in every form, are using people in political positions and so-called fictional elite that everybody buys to and feeds energy to, who are attempting to get rid of you. I mean, no matter what censoring is going on, and the people that's doing the censoring, they're going to get rid of them as well. They don't need them to be able to tell a story when they see things, well, for what they truly are. So all the people who are playing a role in this and sit at the keyboard, they're going to get rid of them too. So I'm saying this because it's a fact. So chlorophyll can actually do just as well as bentonite clay, nano, fermented soy, black soy, mind you. There's very few places you can order that now. And you got to remember, you're dealing with a system now. There's a corporation called the U.S. Postal Service, even because most of those people in ignorance believe you to be a citizen, to which has nothing to do with the land. What I'm alluding to is the fact that there are entities that will interrupt your delivery and deal with it within a matter of moments, if not 30 minutes. You put it right back into the distribution system and you'll receive it. And it will have left the station, not all, well, and by the time it got to you, have been tainted. As you see in the last couple of years, certain things have went on a rise. Listeria, this, that, and other. And as I spoke about the Aryan bird flu, I hope y'all looked into it. I really, really do. Hit that fly, please, Baba. And see, this is not a game. And they're going to continue. And I want to suggest this. If something is bad for you, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to wait until everybody replies. If something is bad for you, oh my, what's going on a little bit? What do you do? If something is not solid, is what you may consider 100%, because you cannot go half-stepping. We already covered that, didn't we? Last week, we covered that. There's no half-stepping. I read it to you. There is no in-between. There is no sitting on the fence. There is no gray and white area. It doesn't exist. There's no black and white. It's a fallacy. If something is no good for you, what do you do? I'm going to wait for your replies. It's not a long word. It's not a long statement. It's not a paragraph. It's a couple of words. I'm not going to say nothing else to y'all reply. All right, Christopher, I got you, beloved. Because I got quite a bit to say. And it seems like I'm one who's actually sharing something for y'all to benefit yourselves. Okay. Avoid it as much as possible. There's no such thing as much as possible, hon. You cut it out. Supposed to cut it immediately, but I sometimes sit there, which you shouldn't. All right. What do? Based on the notions of knowing, you stop, you remove yourself, you cut yourself away from it, you disembark, you get off of that trip, you disembark that ride. All right. You remove it from your hemisphere. Okay. You do not allow it to become atmospheric or subspheric pressure. You do not allow it to create further disruptions and antagonize and bring you to a lower existence. But see, in ignorance, we allow further embarkment, gathering, holding, embracing. So with that being said, you remove it. Does that mean that you don't remove yourself? No, yes, it means you remove yourself from that if it is too much, or you remove it because it is impeding, right? What am I alluding to? So some would say, well, Rick, why are you still utilizing the platform? Because I actually have something to say when most don't. I've been saying it for decades now. A lot of things that I do, I look back and I sit there and I say to myself, wow, when I was talking about this before some internet, when I was in the military, and I was like, people looking at me talking about, and with my MS, a good buddy of mine, when we was on the ship, saying, hey, man, can you get some wheatgrass? Get some what? Can you get some chlorophyll? What? I says, they're kind of like old, but new as far as in the bodybuilding area. I says, could you get that on here? Because it could help balance out some of this stuff. We're dealing with metals and smells and chemicals 24/7 on this ship out at sea with the freshest of air. And he was like, man, I says, you ever thought about where we out at sea and we're getting the best oxygen and there's no trees around? I says, why is it that it makes sense but doesn't make sense? And my boy, man, me and MS used to talk all the time because he used to attempt to cook the food. I used to have my grandmother send me spices to cook for everybody on the child's. I used to get boxes that I paid for of turmeric, boxes of sweet or smoky paprika, liquid smoke, actually from, how it's actually made at a time when it wasn't being synthetically made and processed. I used to get these things, and he used to incorporate all these things in sea salt, and we're out in the ocean, sea salt, and all that into the food, and everybody was going crazy. They made him an officer's personal cook when they already had their personal cook, and we argued and got him back to cook for the people because I wasn't going to give that stuff to nobody else except for the MS in my squadron. So here we have it. Dr. Seavey come out. I used to sit with him. You know what I'm saying? And I used to talk to him when he was in at his Harlem stuff. I used to sit down in Harlem and leaving Apollo and go and sit down with Miss Stewart, Sophia Stewart. Only a handful of times, leaving White Castles, getting my chicken sandwiches, after sweeping up at Apollo and Black Panther meeting and, going out there listening to goofy ass Sonetta and all those monkeys before I left New York. Brooklyn. No, that was Harlem. Anyway, I used to sit down and she knew we were indigenous. Everything about the Matrix and everything, you are old spirits. Everything about the Matrix, Terminator, everything is what you see now. You have people who come to tell stories and they're very polite and they're quaint and they don't expose themselves. She had to because of the fake two Jews, one becoming a female who stole the idea. All right. I had to point it out because that's just what it is. Facts are facts, right? Isn't that right, brother? Benjamin H. Friedman? Yes, it is. So, yeah. So what I used to do. So, in lieu of that, nobody ever asked her, do you write this based upon indigenous? She wrote it about the world and our existence and our truth. And the first thing they did was take it to whitewash it. That's what they do. So right now you have people this docile, program, conditioned, just like when the speech, when a brother was speaking, when they were talking about the golem in the song with ToLU'S, right? And how they want to sit here and they want to metastasize you with all these nanos and everything else to make you something that they have ownership over. Right now, well, most people believe they have ownership when they don't, because our people are fearful and afraid to fight back. I mean, what do you do when you have somebody holding a baby with you get what I'm saying, head on it? What do you do with a man holding a baby? Or the fact that you can watch videos watching children cowering while things are blowing up around them, and then the story says they were found in the rubble and they had to gather their pieces, but you saw them alive with their eyes as big, like as if they're in combat. And the people who are indiscriminately doing this are the same ones that got you in the position you are in now, and the problem that everybody's existing in, because most of those people who are converts are racist, and they're from all different fake places, whether Scotland, England, especially from here, beyond the knowledge of knowing, and to get into the fake Talmudic, a cult-like a series of false traditions that are steeped in that abhorrent nature, as I've read to you in Arthur Kessler's 13 Tribe. I'm not here to talk about them. What I'm alluding to is that most of you don't want to cut the bad things out of your life. You think that you can cut out one or two things, manipulate the change, that way and better and empower yourself. And that's not how it works. Okay? There's a reason why I do what I do. It's not only a test and experiment as per se. I really want to see where is the balance. It's not like we all have this ability to go and get blood work, every day of the week, and then marginalized to pay $2 million. Was it a year that guy pays, or a month, whatever it is, to live longer and look younger? Not everybody has that. When I was stating that the system was created and geared in a slow process. Remember, I used to give an analogy of the frog in the pot, the cauldron, right? Where you set the frog up, you give him a little lily pad and beautiful water and a scene, and jumps right on it. Doesn't know that he's in a big pot of a cauldron, and then you start the fire and you stoke it. You add more and more, and before you know it, the frog is boiled. It got comfortable, it went to sleep. And right now everybody's sleeping and they're cooking. How are you cooking? Well, what do you know about EMF? They satisfied everybody's appetite. I remember in New York when it was on 1G or 2G, right? When the whole the cable system, right, went to this so-called thing after the fiber optics were laid, right? And then next thing there was 2G, and we had the cell phones and all that, because I was working at, like I said, I was working at in Queens at the VA hospital, and I did like a few weeks working with LL Cool J's mom in the pharmacy. Before I said I might want to work here, and I said, well, I can go and do housekeeping, which was a wonderful job, paid good, and I get a permanent job doing it. And I was thinking about it. And by that time, I had learned a lot more, and I had made the decision, okay, well, something's got to give. And I was partaking and studying, visiting and meeting and talking to these people. Okay. And we're talking about the early 2000s, like 2003, 4, like seriously, all the way up until like 2013, when I was visiting Dr. Seavey and Miss Stewart had wrote this. Most of you are very unaware of, had wrote these things, and later on the movies will come out. Neo, Matrix and Terminator, I think was first, and then the black narrative will come in deep. So when it comes to health, I says, well, every time I moved or turned around, I was always doing my best to cut myself away from the things that were toxic. The last time I patrolled with the Guardian Angels in New York was being one of Curtis Leo's personal bodyguards during the Gotti trial with 3 other individuals. By that time, it was getting close to go. I worked with John Laguna at New York Veterans. I stayed there and I hung out and saw people do some crazy stuff. And I drank a lot. And I cooked all the Thanksgiving holiday meals. And, you would think that people would be most appreciative of these things. But all of this is not new. And the first thing they did, as you see now, that is a plethora, especially after the little goofy 20-year so-called war. When we were doing these things, those of us who were doing these things long before them, all these people have become millionaires, light skins, right? And what you saw me do is nothing new. But now they all talk about it and they get all scientific and they get all the following and this, that, and sell this, that, and other. It's not because we don't hustle. It's because we see the negativity. I see the negativity in it. I can easily, I'm not a bag chaser, take all that and correlate it to it. But it's funny how those who have held it up for so long are overstepped and overlooked because of this fake white supremacy and the narrative painted by the enemy who detests them just as well. I shared that yesterday because somebody shared it to me, and yet I've been talking about it. I says maybe it might be more practical for you guys, instead of going back looking at my videos, to go and subscribe to another person, listen to what they've got to say. What he was talking about yesterday is what I've been saying for a long, long time. What was passed down to me, nothing new. It's just that now people are rushing to find things that may be beneficial. It's kind of comical to put it in a mild way, but the people of ignorance, they think they lack fear, and everything they do is steeped in fear. Why do you think there are individuals who will go out there and do child sacrifices and sex? Because they believe that they're going to become immortal. They don't want to die. They're cowards. There's no such thing as death. Yet, the illusion of it is a physical one. It's tormented. It's a tumultuous, chaotic despot of torment. And you see that. And there's another way to make people capitulate. You don't see none of our people running off to fight no wars nowhere. Yet it's okay for, Ron and Bill and Bobby, and them in Texas and Nebraska to suit up and go over there and fight for Ukraine. It's pushed because the agenda and most of the light-skinned people are too stupid to know better. Our people, on the other hand, there are the few that have went and fought. You even had Cubans fight for Ukraine. Don't think nobody melanating didn't. We had the doctor that went over there in the very beginning of it. But you have had our people who live in Russia who have fought on the side of Russia, and they did phenomenal. Yet you still have to deal with the tirades of the people, even in Russia, that there is ignorance at a supreme level. Just like right now, most people aren't aware of, like Germany. You think all that time after World War II, up until when Reagan talking about tear down the walls, it's because they got rid of all the old guard and the truth of the narrative of history. Yet there was still some there, and I met them, all right, who knew the truth and knew the people in power and were very quaint at being, it didn't matter what celebration I went to, big smorgasbords, drinking pints, Hilda with the boobs out here carrying two trays of like 30 steins on it, standing 4'9", and all that stuff that I went through and got to see. I was still able to connect with these people because I moved different, I spoke different. And here we are, so much bad, and so many people still choosing to hold on to it as if you know how to manipulate and change it when you haven't even given yourself a chance to learn from the things I've said, to practice those things, to better yourself, to disembark and to re-embark on something that is more meaningful, even in the time of chaotic nonsense, threats of war, rumors of wars and wars. And right now they're happening everywhere, even though you don't see it. It's a war against you and you're just allowing it. I say eye for an eye. Now, I was looking into that man who supposedly killed the cop's daughter. I can't find nothing nowhere. I believe they want you to respond so they can go ahead and note that, and they'll take that when they go to knock on the door and says, is this not you? Sir, you have to come with us. Ma'am, you have to come with us. Big mouth, sink ships. And the issue at hand, if you know about the lynchings and the truth of them, most people were by themselves or with people who weren't practical or didn't have a way to defend themselves or anything else, or didn't have the mindset. Now, some would say, well, look, you're giving them this. I'm not giving them nothing. This is not like it's not known. I said balance. But you, which I always say, have a choice in what you do. How do you better yourself? What is your position? I guess some of you are saying, did he quit the tobacco? I got one more left. I'm going to enjoy it today. And after that, I'll probably be just brushing my teeth 100 times, chewing on licorice sticks and everything else, because I gotta stop. And it's not like I can't just go cold turkey because that's the easiest thing for me. There are some things that I enjoy because I know the medicinal effects, yet I know what they've done to what is very natural. Okay, it's got to make change. How many went out and bought Pringles and potato chips? Ganja had left the bag of them stick potato chips, Andy Caps. I threw them things away. Those things are nothing but chemical. There was not one potato in there. Like Pringles, it's all sludge, chemicals, every bit of it. Kettle cook, does it have canola oil? Why is it that whenever you go out to any of these restaurants, if you was to ask them what oil they use, they say they won't tell you peanut oil, which is not the peanut oil made by carver, and canola oil, seed oils. And it's the worst stuff for you. Hydrogenated, right? Creates plaque. But see, if we were together, growing our stuff, sweating and toiling, putting our bandanas that we created on our heads, that everybody's running around with, all right, biker gangs, white supremacists, well, everything we've used, they use it, and it's used against you because it's not lucrative, because you know who have profited from it when you haven't. And instead of allowing them to profit anymore, you refuse to come together because, like the end of the song with the light-skinned lady talking, you have become automated. You have become a robot. You have become systemically against yourself. You see, people are going to come over and they're going to run. Man, some people are going to go share it and say, hey, look, check the brother out. Can't make this up. I went on another channel and all of a sudden donations stopped. Like, dude, I'm still buying books. Y'all act like I'm begging because you got a bunch of idiots out there, nurses and dumb people, not you, Snoop. Other people, y'all know what I'm talking about, who are making a good little penny. They got together and they got a little something going. They're not telling nobody. Like Phoenix Moon and them, right? When they were on YouTube, they weren't telling nobody, y'all can make a bag if you get the numbers up, because this is what we're doing, a deplorative state of individuals' narcissistic demeanors and their self-hate while they're attempting to zoo themselves to some self-righteous nonsense, okay? And this is what you're dealing with, because these people are inconsistently dumb, okay? And they don't want to do better. And if you want to do better and be better for yourself, to be the God you were meant to be, to come into your truth, which is only the presence, the God presence. It doesn't mean, okay, the elites want you to think they're God. So is elite, is that what you should call yourself now? So I'm utilizing the term to say become the better you. And it's going to take some things, because they did a lot of sacrilege. They did a lot of defiant, destructive, against natural order. And they're still doing it. I guarantee you eating 1 meal a day would benefit you more than eating 3 meals of garbage. And I know some of you are like, I can't just stop eating a peppermint. I can't stop having a Twinkie or a donut. I can't stop, I know a lot of you are going to sit there and go, well, every once in a while, let me tell you something. I don't buy ice cream no more. Like, I'm a book fanatic, a bookhead, crackhead, book, as we say, remove crack, put bookhead. I was a bigger ice cream head. I enjoy some ice cream, y'all. I haven't had it in a while. Don't crave it. Don't want it. It's no necessity. See what's going on, beloved. I only got like 4 hours of sleep. I was like, I got to read today. Really read, like, we did a few days ago. But I'm going to stretch out here. I'm going to lay my head back and allow myself to get about at least an hour, because I want to go ahead and, do the things I need to do that are important. Excuse me, I got my weapon, my thing on. Anyway, it's kind of cramping me. I got 2 of them. Don't ask. For those who know, like Ganja and T and them know, well, we met one of my friends, all right, during the car show, and he was like, why does he carry so many guns? I'm not lying, y'all. Anyway, what's they called? Destiny manifestation, or manifest destiny. We always talk a lot. Honestly, I get tired of talking. But sometimes I feel like wasted energy. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying a real feeling. But on a presumptive perception of something steeped in the world we live in, because ignorance is all around. I'm not going to get gimmicky. So that way y'all go, man, he's talking some good stuff, man. Hit him with some change. 1933. They robbed the gold, took it from us. This is after World War II. And they call it the Great Depression, these fake individuals, because they created the Federal Reserve. So they shut down the banks, what they call the bank holiday, for a week. You know what happened at that time? They took the gold at $35 and made it 20. And they said, oh, sorry. And they said, we're going to get $20 worth of the gold. So you had overall anywhere from a 40 to 60% loss. So after that point, they was printing money because it was not the gold standard, the silver standard. So now they were just printing fiat. And as a robbing you, now you are in debt. So you get the 40s, 50s, and 60s up until you get this monkey who was also a Gujar. He just wasn't gay by the narrative, Nixon, who finalizes and removes absolutely the gold and silver standard, because you got to remember France sent its warships over here, right, to collect. And Nixon told them, bump you. We're folding. We're not giving you nothing. We're already in Vietnam. So they just printed out more of this crap. And that came from your trusts and everything. They stole your gold, gave you Federal Reserve, and put you in debt. These fake bastards who are in all positions that you listen to. And you got dumb Negroes who don't know no better, following and listening, spewing religion, this, that, and the other. And if me talking about religion makes y'all leave, then get the fuck away from me, because I don't want you around me. That's what I mean. Cut them dry. Let them go. Because they're not even a good steward of their fictional religion, which was partially a way of our lifestyle. I will cut a person loose in a heartbeat. You got to remember, the heart thinks. That stomach, that gut feeling, the heart intuitiveness. This is the Rolodex. This is the file. You didn't know that, did you? I said I was going to drop a little tea. How many of you are barbecuing? I saw some videos, wrapping up in foil, putting it on the grate, all that nonsense. It's one of the most toxic things you can do. Parchment paper with that wax, which is a chemical. When heat it up, it goes right into the meat. And because you're so powerful, it hasn't really affected you. No, it is. But it hasn't really. You know what I mean? Slow. Cauldron, lily pad, frog, stoke. Like walking in a sauna. Then you go over that 5 or 15 minute mark and you don't get in that cold shower and do it again. You're stuck in there for a half hour, and then you're wondering why you're breaking down, why your kidneys, your liver, everything is going awry. Because you got comfortable. So because there's no hot boiling water on your skin, you're not in a hot box of steam, you believe that the fire isn't being stoked, you're comfortable, and you're not going to sleep. Why do you think that term is being misutilized and managed by the CIA to sit there talking about, and I didn't want to say the name, talking about woke movement. And then you have these so-called black fake pan fries who are too stupid to know that they're doing themselves an indelible mark, and a stain like ink, right? The service pushed all the narratives to further embark on this fictional out of Africa and everything else. And they never once talked about well-being or health, except for some of the guys who became Muslims and came out of prison saying you got to eat halal. That's a bunch of crap. You undercook your meat, you're going to get holes in your brain. You're going to get parasites throughout your body, worms of all kinds, for those who like to eat meat. There was a time when you didn't have to worry about all that. But they have so many things they're shooting these animals up with. You think that's natural? Isn't that processing while it's alive, stoking the fire to further put you in a physical sleep? So that way you can come back. You know what? I've said it. I'm not going to say it again. So our ancestors know they're right here. You probably had a fight with your great grandpa. You probably stabbed your mammy. Y'all have absolutely no idea about the world you live in. It's the reason why I said don't go into the light. I still like to bring you back. You don't get it. You really don't get it. Now, can you manipulate it from the other side? This is a time and a realm. You're not originally from here. But you're the first. The original. As far as your existence. When we meet, every one of us who have met, everybody who you met growing up, you all knew each other before. Hell, one of you might have been the guy that pulled the lever on the guillotine, or pulled the peg, cut that person's head off. Some of you might have ran up in somebody's house and robbed them. This is during the tumultuous era, the tumultuous season. Some of you might have been married to the person you are now, but in the other likeness. That's hypothetical. Even I don't have the resources to know the truth of that. But it could have been a marriage before. Murder, suicide. On a ship that's sunk. Building something in a way you cannot remember, but you dreamt of it. Where calamity happened and you both lost your lives. You might have been pilots. You might have lived deep in the forest of Borneo. I'm not going to get into that because most times where you succumb is where you come back. And yet, they know and you don't. And so that's why they mitigate to do what they're doing. They want to live longer than you can even imagine and enjoy every time you come back doing whatever pleasure or whatever it is they seek. They're not worried about the people that died. They know what's going to happen because they don't know the truth. Regardless of them thinking they know all the truth, they don't. Like I said, there's an end to it all. But you're here, and a lot of you are still indecisively making no decision. Meaning you're being very indecisive. You have not chosen to do the right thing yet. And what is the right thing? Obviously, if you're here, you have a good idea. So if somebody else is talking what I'm talking about, or they're just giving you the same old drib drab, stay there indecisively. Feed that disharmony and that unharmonic balance. Continue on your ancestral appetite of repetitive reprobate mentality that keeps you in an illusion and coming back. Rolodex, we think, focus. Don't they say that most of the time the most important stuff is the center? Usually they do 2 body shots and 1 head shot. That means that you can't call upon memory to recuperate if you have a fractal of what you can actually do in that moment of not succumbing. So if they disconnect that after damaging this, which induces fear, is it making sense now? Decapitate, the body can't recover. What you're capable of is beyond the scope of what you can understand. And I don't think y'all really grasp what you're really capable of. I don't think none of you, in the percentage out of 100, in the 1%, in the percentage narrative, you don't really get what you're capable of. Now, I don't belong to nobody. I don't owe nobody in their fictional world. Most people right now say they owe, right? You owe empty. Your fear and their tactics is based on that. That's like these dumb police officers when you say they don't have no jurisdiction because everything out of Washington, D.C. is its own country by the narrative of what they've created. Because they follow policies and procedures and they don't have moral standings and they're subjugated, they become these robotic golems. And they don't even know, because that's what they're being taught by the very people that some of them say they hate it, unless they have been situational unawareness put in a position because they really believe, after seeing some bad things, that everybody's bad based on the media and everything else, and those over them who have created this atmosphere based on drink, partying. You see right now, most cops are marrying cops. That's unheard of. Go back 40, 50 years, unheard of. Their divorce rate was higher than ours. But we weren't supposed to be marrying the way they marry. You know what marrying means? Marinating, putting together two things to make something that's supposed to taste good. Well, sometimes you put two things together and it don't taste good. Y'all don't get it. You're in a deep spell. And you're the conductor because it's become conducive. And you still choose not to make a choice. Exactly. Stop repeating and doing dumb shit over and over and over. And you've gotten good at it, being dumb. You know that statement, dumb down? Think about it. It's one thing for me to be saying it. That doesn't mean anything when it comes to whether you're able, well, you're able, you're very capable. You're willing to do it. Not a good choice of words, but it's the only thing I could come with right there. Anyway, I appreciate y'all taking the time. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna read. I'm gonna give me an hour nap, at least an hour, so I gotta have 5 hours. It was nothing that my body was sore. I took the cold shower, and when you do things different, your body starts adapting. Pressure is good as long as you're willing to pull the talons out, pull the plumage out that's no good, and sometimes break your beak off. That means change your head. And it take a little respite to allow yourself to condense, expand, create a new shell that is more harmonically balanced in situational awareness, for situational awareness, exactly for you. A lot of people dismiss what could be good because they still aspire in the world of false traditions and religion and the ideologies and narratives without knowing how to actually start painting a picture when the picture was always right there in front of you. You just have to know how to apply the proper strokes to not make a copy, but to flow with it. Bob Ross and his afro, ex-military. Painting with a spatula. There are people that paint with combs, with dog paws, cat paws. The people paint backwards, upside down. You need to become the professional painter, because the portrait that you're wearing, you can't flow with it. Okay? For those who get all deep into philosophy. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Cashapp, $, Cashapp, Indian, $, Indian Gem, one, whatever, you know, if y'all want to donate $1 to the books. I still have a bit. I didn't order the other 2 books yet. I ordered one. I need to go over there. teacher said, because I gave her an extra key because she gets mail too, and then she'll drop it off, or her old man. Um, she said that I had 2 yellow slips in there. She left them in there. She didn't bring them because they were going to Leche. And a couple months, well, I think it was. Anyway. So anyway. No, I didn't. Wait, hold on. This is what happens when you only get like 3-4 hours of sleep. I'm supposed to give her the key. Damn it. That was not teacher. God damn it. Yeah, I'm tired. My head is heavy, y'all. The guy that works at the airport. 3 of us used the boat because he was renting a room and he works at the airport. He's making a lot of money. He's trying to buy a house. So he was the one that told me, teacher, I got to give her the key. She's going to take over my P.O. box. That's what I got it backwards. He was the one that said I had 2 yellow slips in there. But I'm going to take a nap. I'll go ahead and get it today or tomorrow. I'm not in a rush. I'm just not like that. And if the books are there, cool. They'll be stacked here because we have other stuff to read. Why did I even say that, teacher? They're out of school. She wouldn't have came by, and I'm supposed to get. She's gonna get. Yeah, that's confusion on my part. Yeah, I have those moments too, so it's all right. A lot of stuff going on up there. All right, so matter of fact, I need to call her and let her know the exact date that I have wrote down. I wrote down 3 dates, and I'll let you know, Ganja and Timonis, I think he's working. I'll let you guys know when I'm gonna do the open house. So he already knows. He knows at least a week. So that way, I got 2 appointments though. People can come in here and see something and be like, how much? I'm not going to tag prices. I'm going to say that's how much this is, how much that is. These are like $2. That's 75 cents. That's $20. That's $50. That is 150. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And when it's all gone, out. It has to happen. Do I want to leave? No. Should I leave? Yes. Am I going to leave? Of course. Absolutely. That's why. Because I listen to me. I don't second guess the things that beyond makes sense, but because it was all laid out. And if you don't follow that path laid out before you, you're going to be on that wide road that has many offshoots. Okay. Let me get off of here. I appreciate you guys. I need to get this little rest because I am still tired. I've been working out every day, pushing it, eating 1 meal or 1.5 meals. What is 1.5 meals? It means I make a little juice or, Cashapp or something. And I don't do the whole thing. I just do half. Got to restart the system, right? Now I'm about to let go of one of my biggest things, and that's tobacco. And I mean, the fake tobacco is already thrown away. I got 1 scroll left. I'm going to enjoy it. When it's gone, it's gone. Just like that. It's not hard. It's not complicated, people. All right. See y'all here